man. All right, everybody, what's up? It's Oreo. We are sitting here now in Southbay. We're sitting here in the Southbay Discord, having a meeting with the Southbay community, and we're here talking about the server wipe. Whether or not we should have a server wipe moving into the newest or the massive update coming up or not. So I'm going ahead and streaming this just for purposes. I'm going to stay quiet for most of it. However, whenever something does come up that pertains to the wipe specifically, then we will deal with that accordingly. But yeah, once they get started, I'm gonna mute my mic. We'll have this, and then I'll comment on a few things here or there. I want to go ahead and give my personal opinion on the server wipe, and personally, I don't feel like we need it as long as we can balance the economy. I feel like the people that have put in their time have worked hard for it. They deserve it. But I also feel like there's a lot of people hoarding things, hiding in the background that don't necessarily, I don't want to put this. There are things sitting in warehouses unnecessarily. So, like, when one person owns 20 cars, that's not possible for all of those cars to whatever. And it also ends up making things strenuous because then it creates a massive supply and demand for something like a $20,000 car that's been completely bought out, and when somebody wants it, then, you know. This is helpful? Yeah. Hello, bossman. Hello, Coco. Welcome. Yeah, as I said earlier, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up, whenever they actually begin the community meeting, I'm going to mute my mic, I'm going to let them deal with everything, and then I will give comments on specific things that I feel like are important, if necessary. He did it last time as well? Yeah, I did. It's so nice to see Gold up there, though. Like, see him with the staff roll, because I think if I go to anything else, yeah, he's finally got staff permission. But yeah. I can listen to 2 meetings at once. No worries, my friend. No worries. I got you. That's just for this meeting, though. We lost the Brit. Never mind, the Brit is back. He's ascended. Just wonder if that's just for this meeting, though, because why he got the role in the first place, so he can get into the stage. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be just for this meeting. I think intentionally he was supposed to have it, and they just kind of didn't give it to him because they wanted to see how well this thing is going to go. But no, I think that Gold deserves staff.
All right, we're gonna get this shit going real quick. So
Alright.
as the agenda was, it pretty much still stands. We're just gonna talk about the wipe options we do have coming on our 2.0 launch or our QB launch, however you want to go about calling it. Um, I just want to let everyone know that we've decided to leave the decision up to the community on how the community wants to go about moving forward with the economy and the quote unquote wipe, if there is one, right? As you guys know, myself and the rest of the staff, um, we do this for the community. We don't do it for ourselves. You guys see my playtime. I'm only here on the weekends. Um, you guys here, they're here every day, all day. This is your guys' server, not mine. So uh, that's where that decision has came from. We'll see where it goes on what you guys decide. We'll throw out some polls, and it'll be majority rules. This meeting's basically uh should basically be a short meeting from my perspective. It'll be for you guys to come up here and give your opinions on the subject, give your suggestions on the subject, and basically, not trying to say convince, but let the community know the different options and stuff, and see how you guys can collectively decide on the next move for the next big update, right? I don't have a timeline. This is why this meeting has been prolonged a little bit, because I don't have a timeline on when that update is coming. Um, as it gets closer, updates will start being pushed out, either via announcements or further meetings. But we are at a point where the economy is being redone over there on the other server. Um, and this is is a crucial point for us to kind of see where the community wants to go with it, so we can continue the development on that side of things, right? So I do have right now 4 different options. I'll explain them, and if you guys want me to go into detail, just let me know in the community meeting channel. Like, hey, explain this one, explain that one, and I could try to answer any questions for each option. Right. So the first option would be, at least on a development standpoint, the easiest option. As far as building the economy and stuff like this on that other server, the easiest option would be a full wipe. No characters converting over, just a full wipe, everyone starting fresh, right? Our second option would be an asset only wipe. So we can take over your characters. You won't have to remake anything. Those that have, multiple characters slotted and stuff, um, we can easily transfer them over, and it'll be just an asset only wipe. Assets meaning inventories, banks, cash, cars, right? Anything that you've purchased or have hidden, stashed away, right? All that would be considered an asset, right? So your characters, your storylines, everything would transfer over, but you would bring nothing with you, right? Our third option would be a no wipe, right? No wipe. We just bring our current economy onto the new server. We make the adjustments, and the server is going to have economy adjustments. They'll just take longer to adjust, and the economy standpoint of development will be extended much longer because it'll have to be a gradual thing, bringing over our current economy to the new server, right? Um, Another option we do have is to do an asset wipe, bring your characters over, and we could plug this in, I think, into either a full wipe or asset only wipe. So this is basically like a plus to either one or two option, but we can put it in to where your playtime will give you a bonus, like a starting bonus based on your playtime on the server. Um, we currently can't track down how much playtime each character slot you have. So what we'll do will be a general playtime bonus. So these are just thrown out numbers, right? So say you have 100 hours, you get a 100K starting bonus. When you first log in to load up your characters on the server, um, whether we do a full wipe or just an asset wipe, right? You'll be given the option to put that 100K across however many characters you want. So say you have 2 characters, your playtime bonus was 100K, and you want to put 50K on character 1 and 50K on character 2, or 75K on character 1. However you want to do it, that'll be something that we can add on for either option 1 or 2 with the full wipe, or number 2 being the asset wipe, right? Um I think that's cool. It has its ups and downs. Obviously, a full wipe, you got the benefits of everyone starting off on the same playing field. The veterans that are here on the server currently, and the new people that have joined us over the last couple weeks. We will basically, with the full wipe, everyone starts off on the same playing field. Um, but those are the options. I will let you guys know on the economy side of things, asset wipes, taxes, stuff like that will be implemented, regardless of a wipe or no wipe. On that side, on the QB side of things, those mechanics are being added into the economy. So we have to keep that in mind, right? If we decide to bring everything over from this server to the next server, some people might be at a huge disadvantage come, when it's time to pay bills. You have 50 cars or whatever, 20 supercars, these rare cars that are going to have higher asset fees than regular cars. You may not be able to afford to have those cars anymore on the new economy, um, or you're going to have to grind to be able to keep them. um, there's pros and cons for basically every option, but those are the options we're looking at. If anybody wants to suggest another option, I got my notepad up. I'm ready to write some more stuff down. Um, if someone wants to speak on some of these options, raise your hand. We could talk about it. Um, so it's on you guys now. If you guys have any questions, right?
Bobby's got his hands up,
Yeah,
and so has Marcus. Which one do you want first?
doesn't matter. Whoever raised their hand first.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and share. They're gonna pull one of us up here in a second.
You got it, radio? Or?
No, it doesn't give me the option to give him speak. What the fuck? There we go. I got it. There you go.
Yep.
Yo.
So my question is basically along the lines of the asset wipe. Has the idea of like a percentage asset wipe been thought about? Like an aspect of like to try to balance the economy and the money that's currently already in play, instead of just like wiping, just dropping it by percentages to balance
Coco.
it with the new economy that's going to be coming out?
I don't understand your question.
Like for example, instead of giving people money off of playtime or full wipe or half or no wipe, doing something along the lines of like say in funds I have, just say $2 million, right? And you take 65% of that as the wipe instead of just taking all the money and everybody starting fresh. Across the board though, like everybody loses like 65% of their assets.
The easiest way to do that would be with the playtime bonus. To be honest with you, I can't sit here and calculate percentages for every character, for every bank account, for every person. There's people here that have 3-4 characters.
And I have one other question, and that's along the lines of the statement you put out about the playtime bonuses. How is like you don't think that's going to be unbalanced in the aspect of the people who have been here for a very long time? Like for example, I don't know exactly how many hours now, but I know I have a butt ton of hours. I know Raider has a butt ton of hours. I know people like Cordova, and a few others. We have a lot of hours put in. Like we're gonna determine on the number you obviously choose. We're gonna have a massive head start over everybody. Do you think
I'm
that's
gonna
affect?
be having a full wipe on my character, so it makes no difference to me.
Okay.
I'm taking my character across it for you
Yeah,
guys, but I'm happy to.
I do understand what you're saying, that it still would create a difference of economy between people, right?
Yeah, definitely for
Um,
the people who like would put in a lot more hours. Like I don't remember. I think the last time I looked, I was at like 4 or 5,000 hours played, some crap like that.
right.
And like I just feel like that would put like a big hiccup in the new economy system.
I can see that being a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's an option. Nothing's really set in stone with that. This way still does ensure that nobody uh comes in with zero, basically. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's it for now. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I noted what you said, so we'll see what we can try to work on when we get official polling in and options.
Marcus, you're up.
Yeah.
Hi. I didn't necessarily want to, or have any questions or anything, but more so I just wanted to open up and say that I was one of the biggest proponents for a server wipe back whenever, we were playing with the idea of the last community meeting. Um, I've kind of walked back away from that a little bit. I'm perfectly fine with players that have been here and put in a lot of time having the advantage because they have put in that time to develop the server the way that it is. Um, with the new tax system coming and whatnot, I mean, I feel like it's if we were to do a wipe, it would be asset plus the starting balance. But to be fair, I don't think that it's entirely. I don't really have any like questions or anything else. I just wanted to share that.
Which part are you saying is not necessary?
A full wipe. To be fair, I don't think we were talking about we don't want people starting at zero, and I agree with that. I also think that there needs to be some reward for the people who have stayed here for longevity. So yeah, I just
Gotcha.
think that's either just the new tax system or a asset wipe plus the starting balance option.
Right. Well, like I mentioned, the tax system, the asset fees and stuff like that. That's gonna be regardless of anything that happens, right? Day one of QB, that stuff is rolling out, right? Um, but so the side that you're kind of leaning on to right now, because you said you were leaning full wipe at one point, but now you're saying that you're looking towards like an asset wipe only with the
Um,
bonuses that we have brought up.
so it was more so I feel like there needs to be an economy balance because there is no it feels like you just accumulate all of this money and then the question is where does it go?
Right.
And so uh with sort of the tax system coming into play, that pretty much ends that question of where does all the money go, because then it's more so of the more time you have in the server, the more you're doing stuff, the more it affects the economy, instead of just come in, make a lot of money, leave, come back whenever, say, a house you want goes on sale, and then you just go out and buy it because you've been sitting on 5 or 6 mil, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it just
Gotcha.
that's what it is. It's more I was more worried about balance than I was actual taking things away, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with the tax system probably is already going to be.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, anyways, thanks for your time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have his hand up, but he put it back down again. I'm not sure if he wants to speak.
I mean, that's pretty much all I had to say about
Cowboy, you have any
that.
questions?
Yeah, he's good. Hold up.
Hey, not a question, just maybe a thought. I like the idea of a number 4, but obviously there's that point of it's going to create a bit of an imbalance between new players and the old experienced players. would the possibility be something of like, say, if you've got X amount of hours, you get a certain level of house or something like that, instead of money, maybe some assets?
Okay. We could play with that. The only problem with that is like everybody having different options of what assets they might want. You know what I mean? Might make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
Like
no,
say
I
like you want a house, right? And maybe Gold wants to keep 2 cars, or maybe Nerd wants you know what I mean? Like we'd have to go case by case. That would slow down a lot of things.
I just figured you guys would be like, 10, just for simple sake, 10 hours you get an option of these 3 cars, 20 hours you get an option of one of these cars and one of these houses or something like that. Just have a set system in place already. But it's just, I just thought it's something different so it doesn't create you don't have people coming in with a shitload more money than other people, because it could sort of make new people a bit nervous about joining the city, if you know
Right.
what I mean.
Right.
But then you're still rewarding the people that have been around for ages.
Right. And I think that's like our biggest thing is trying to make it fair, not only for the veterans but also the new people.
Yeah,
Um
and I mean, you're never gonna please everyone, but
right, of course.
the more you can, the better.
Right, right.
Just my 2 cents.
All right. Have it here noted. We'll see how we can kind of work it into a development standpoint to make it work. The biggest thing is to kind of streamline everything and make it across the board. Makes a lot of things easier and speeds things up in the process.
Anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
Oh, as far as assets starting on QB, we did stick and we are going to stick with the free apartment. Um, People are wondering about that, which is something that we currently don't have now on our server with as far as free assets
That's
are
huge.
concerned.
That's for like new players.
It's for every player,
everyone.
right? Like yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's
When you
huge.
join your spawn in an apartment, and that'll be your apartment.
Yo, everybody gets a free apartment? Everybody gets a free apartment.
I just want to clear things up. Number 4 is not really an option. It would be attached to either 1 or 2, right? Where the fuck that went? I don't know where that went. Here it is on the options you posted, Gold.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So basically what you're looking at is it would be full wipe with 0, full wipe with the playtime bonus, or asset wipe like with 0, or asset wipe with the bonus, right? Like you're basically saying that
Okay.
those are the options. Yeah.
Oh, we've got another question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, basically I kind of want to run off of a little bit of what Cowboy was saying, because he's right. Like it was kind of the same thing I was saying earlier, where like it's gonna still make an imbalance. How do you feel about potentially maybe capping the hour limit so that you can't make with your hours played, you can't make over a certain amount from the wipe being put in place? So even if you have say 8, 9, 10,000 hours played, like Raider,
I
like
have
you
a
wouldn't
year total played right now, maybe a little bit more.
whatever, same difference. But you say you have those hours played, like after like say 1,000, you can't accumulate any more rewards to try to balance it so that like somebody, for example, somebody like myself who most of my time on this server has been played as a cop, right? I recently started going to civilian.
Right.
I can now take all those assets I earned hours wise on my cop and give it to my crim and make him richer than he was before the wipe. You know what I mean?
I get
think
what
there
he's
definitely
saying.
has
Yeah,
to
I
be
agree.
something put in place to keep that from happening, because for people who like primed one thing and or switch to another and they don't like do med or PD or any other whitelisted job, they can take all those hours played on that character and give it to another one. So I feel like maybe putting in a hard cap on the hours would be a good way to go about that, to make sure that the asset or the time played bonus doesn't exceed a certain amount that you guys choose, whether say it's 150k, 200k, and that's the most anybody can earn. You know what I mean?
Right. That's basically what's gonna happen. We're gonna just tear it down. That's just getting into the specifics, right?
Okay.
It's not gonna be, X hours equals X money. It's gonna be, this range of hours equals this money, and this range of hours equals that money. And there is gonna be a cap of the most, right? Like no matter what, like you said, if it's 1,000 hours, it's 1,000 hours would be the cap, and
Yeah.
the most you can get would be, the highest tier payout.
All right, so I have the second question. I just wanted to touch on that because I heard what Cowboy was saying, and like I said, I agreed with him. I don't want the time played bonus to break it again, break it right at the start. You know what I mean? The second question I have is looking at some of what was said. Like a full wipe, it says character and assets are all gone. You start from scratch. What does that mean for people who are in a whitelisted gang or in gangs? Period. Are we gonna have to meet each other? Is this like, are we losing our memories basically?
Yes, yes. It would be like starting fresh. Everyone starts fresh. The only things that are staying over is the current whitelisted businesses and the current whitelisted emergency services. Everything else is starting fresh. And Legna could speak on it. He's the only whitelisted gang here. If he wants to speak on that and answer and give you his opinion on things,
Yeah. Before that,
by
I
all
just
means, he
wanted.
can talk.
Yeah. So my question, I would love to hear from him. Just give me 1 second though. So my second thing would be, how do you, as government, as our staff, how do you protect against? Okay, so like obviously everybody who's currently in the mines are gonna want to rejoin the mines, right? Makes sense.
I can't speak for them.
I would say it makes sense. That's why I said it makes sense.
Right. Well,
I'm sorry, that was not
theory,
supposed to be
you
mean, but that
can't
was
do
funny.
anything, right? Because in the end of the day, friends are gonna play with friends, right? The
Yes.
groups that are currently on the server now, that the quote unquote cliques, right? That's still gonna happen regardless whether
Okay.
we did a full wipe or an acid wipe or no wipe, right? It's
That was
end of the day,
not
it's still
against
gonna
Bobby
happen.
at
There's
all.
nothing
That was
we
just
can do
Imdot's
to
response was just
do
gold.
anything on that. You know what I mean? I don't expect everybody to come in and act like they don't know each other, regardless of a full wipe or not, right? It's just
What about
it's impossible to enforce.
No, of course, and that's kind of where I was feeling. I'm like, I didn't see how that was enforceable when I saw it. That I was like, how do they plan on doing that?
It's not, right? So like a new character thing, right? Like my look at like a fresh start, right, is basically creating new stories, right? So if, for example, and I've used this before, right, with a new character wipe, if I wanted to recreate my old characters and then completely change it up to where, let's say, Diaz is no longer a cop and Diaz is a crim now, and Fuentes is a cop all of a sudden, like a full wipe would give me that opportunity to basically rewrite my own arcs and create my own RP differently, right?
Rewrite history.
I wouldn't be able to do that if we did an acid only wipe, right? I'd have to go out of my way and create new characters on other slots and go from perma and all that other stuff, right?
What about people with whitelisted jobs? Do we maintain our jobs?
I had mentioned that, right? The only jobs that are staying is going to be the current whitelist, any current whitelisted jobs, which is currently just pit crew, and the emergency services. Now, if we do a full character wipe and Bobby Bojangles is no longer Bobby Bojangles, but you choose, your new name as John Holiday, and John Holiday wants to work at pit crew, then that's who will take Bobby Bojangles' spot. You know what I'm saying?
What about Toe as well?
Yes, Toe as well.
All right, I'm
And
sorry,
I
you just
consider
confused
them
the hell
other.
out of me with that.
That's because I'm using real names, right? But like I don't. John Doe, you create a character named John Doe, right? John, instead of Bobby Bojangles, you're now John Doe, and you're gonna work at pit crew now. You know what I mean?
So
Like
I would still maintain my job just under a different name.
If you decide to create a new character, yes, you as a person or a member, right? You have your one character slot assigned to pit crew if you want to continue to work at pit crew past the wipe.
Okay.
Right. Or you
same
might
thing
use
for
this
PD.
as an excuse to just quit pick roll entirely. You know what I mean? Raider might use this as an excuse to not be cop anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different options. Like I said, deleting your characters and starting over.
Okay. And like
You
you
know?
said, that's going to go forward towards EMS and
I
all the
I'm
other
ready for
white
this.
jobs also, correct?
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely love to hear what Legna has to say about the gang part of some of this, because I'm actually curious to hear his side of it, as he's the only whitelisted gang in the city.
Like, no, you're around?
Marcus. I think that's,
Or whoever's next. Yeah, whoever's next.
oh, yeah, no, it's Marcus and Legman.
Yeah.
All I want to say is Raider for the Mines.
There it is. Alright, Legman, stop.
Alright, hello? Yo.
Yo.
What was the question? Or what was the topic?
I don't know.
It was about whitelisted gangs, as he's the only one he can speak on how he feels about the mines still being the mines, or whether they're going to all join and everything together and be the same as what they were before.
Okay, so for that part, we have already like all obviously been talking to it as like collective, and most of us, yeah, we obviously all want to stick together as a gang, but like we would like to like branch out and maybe do a different type of style, so that we don't just come into like QB with like our current beef with like the blues and like whatever we are with the pinks, and like how we like don't mess with like Bobby and shit like that. Like that arc, like we kind of just want to like drop it and like start fresh. Like obviously all the people are gonna be the same, but like we want to like rewrite our all of our gangs like story pretty much.
Oh snap! They're for a wipe.
That being said, like we also don't want like character wipes. Um, Asset wipes, we're kind of like 50-50. We really don't care about that, but some of us do. The idea of like getting that bonus was kind of interesting. Um, but at the same time, like the whole asset fee was also interesting, because like people like me and Bo, like we have a lot of cars and we wouldn't be able to maintain a lot of those cars
Facts.
because of the taxing and stuff like that. So I feel like the tax alone can balance a lot of the economy that I think people are like think is imbalanced right now. So like yeah, at least from our standpoint, we're more on the leaving stuff how it is, but because since we're so like established and stuff, us starting as a new gang would be how we restart and like let everybody kind of stay the same. That's just how we see it right now.
Does that answer anything for you, Bobby?
He wants to talk again.
Yeah, you can bring him up.
Get him in here. Let him
All
fight.
right, sorry about that. So yeah, so Joe, I was more along the lines of like, I love the idea of like recreating a story. I think that's really cool and everything. But like, I was more referring to like, how are you guys like gonna plan on like dealing with this? Like, what's your opinion on the idea of like with a full asset wipe that we won't know each other anymore? Like none of our interactions have ever happened. Like, what's your opinion on it? How do you plan as the leader of a whitelisted gang on the server, the only whitelisted gang? How do you plan on dealing with that and like kind of getting through that shenanigans?
So if that were to happen, like we get like complete character wipe and stuff like that, um, the only thing I could really say is like it's a small community that we're in. Like everybody's gonna pretty much just stay with who they're hanging out with. Like obviously we wouldn't mind like bringing in new people, or if some people wanted to leave, that's completely fine by them. But like we're in the city all the time. Like asset wipe is not a big deal to us, because like we'll be able to like grind and get stuff done again. The character wipe, like it's kind of hard to say, because like I said, everybody's still gonna hang out with the same people. It's gonna be hard to like pretend like if we don't know each other. But if it's gotta happen, I mean we're gonna get it done.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like really hard to just say that like, oh, even
Yeah,
if we
no,
character
clearly.
wipe, like we're not all gonna hang out with each other.
Well, I figured you were gonna like hang out with each other, but I was more like, how do you plan on dealing with the like rejoining? Are you just gonna like all kind of meet up in one spot? Are you planning on maybe like doing it like low key,
No,
like
it's
over time? Like what do you think about that in that aspect? Like, what's your plan?
so if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure we would all like not just meet in one spot, like, hey, everybody get on, let's all meet up here. Like we probably wouldn't do that, but like since we're all like the same type of characters, like we're all crims and we all do like the same things, like it would be very fast that we all meet each other and like
Okay.
start up a
Yeah.
gang again.
Okay. Thank you, Legna. I appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
Cool. Sorry, meeting. Anyone else have anything related to the current topic that they want to bring up or anything like that?
Marcus and Don are up again in a second.
Oh yeah, handles.
Hey, so I wanted to ask, what specifically is the tax system? Like, how is that gonna work?
The specifics are not yet done, right? We have like I'm not trying to get into that unless I know what's necessarily going to happen with the economy. Right? As far as what we're bringing over, if you're asking for specifics on like what's going to get charged, that's not going to get released until pretty much the drop and with all the new patch notes.
Yeah, no, I was just asking, like, so it would be cars, how any owned property, is that correct?
Excuse me. It's going to be cars, right? Houses, businesses, um
Inventory.
no. Stop talking, Raider. What are you talking about? You're asking about the asset fees, right, Marcus?
Yeah,
Yeah. So cars, houses, businesses, sales tax in the city for purchases. So buying stuff throughout the city will have a sales tax. And there might be an overall general tax of what is currently liquidated inside of a bank, right? That last option still kind of being worked and decided if that's going to be a thing or not. But basically everything else I said before that is what the fees would be or what taxes you'd see in the city.
And with that being said, where would that go? Is that just kind of sent off into limbo? Is it sent into account somewhere for a government?
So I know PD has been talking about building a budget on their end, on like fines and stuff that their job creates taxes on other people, right? And building a budget on their side. We're still thinking if that's what we're gonna do on that side of things. As far as general services taxes, sales tax and the asset fees you're paying, they're basically going to get sent into the void. It's basically a money sink to keep the economy afloat more than anything. If the server were to ever blow up and create enough content and enough not content but enough people to fill certain roles, I have no problem having DOJ and mayors and shit like that, right? Kind of be in charge of stuff like that, right? Their salaries can be paid off of those taxes. And there's like so much you can do with it, right? But from the start, from the rip, that money is basically going to go into the void unless someone suggests something else.
Okay, thank you.
Don's up.
Bruh.
All right.
Excited.
So I had a question about the I just recently got a question about the taxes. So I presume the taxes are a mandatory thing to pay, but like is there like an upkeep tax that you have to pay to keep to your stuff? But like if you don't, is there some kind of like punishment, like the IRS comes and like tries to kill you?
Well, one, IRS doesn't kill people.
Well, it's exaggeration.
So on stuff that's uncontrollable,
IRS
like
killing people
or that
confirmed.
is controllable, like for instance, cars, right? You fail to pay asset fees on cars. Cars are not going to be able to be taken out. You're not going to be able to use them until it's paid. Eventually, if it goes default for long enough, cars is going to be taken away from you entirely, right? It'd be the same thing for houses, right? There's no one like going to be really in control of that. It's going to be like an automated thing until we can create jobs or create further RP to kind of replace that automation, which I think would be great, right? Like an actual IRS, or I know the current law system has like tax evasion and stuff like that. But most of it, for the most part, is going to be automated. That's your question.
And I also kind of wanted to go back to this gang part because Dante is kind of messaging me since he can't make it. But so like how you guys were saying, even if you did the full character wipe, like the people would still flock together. Like the mines would still be the mines. May their name change, but realistically, the same people are still gonna be there. Aztecas, Pinks, all the same thing. They're all still gonna be their same flock. But what is like, given the fact that like you change everything, like is everything gonna be like re-ranked and reorganized? Well, this is more of a question for Joe than like you guys, but like, is it going to be like, are you just gonna like let it kind of? I'm wording this poorly. Is it more of like it just kind of like you let it go, or are you all guys gonna like kind of stay the same? Like you change what you guys do and all this, but like it's still this, like you're still you, essentially.
So right now, clearly we haven't been upkeeping the whole motorcycle club like outlook, at least in the city. Obviously, you guys have all seen us like just in our cars. I know me personally, I've been like dressing like just wearing green, not really my cut anymore. So like us portraying as motorcycle like people, that was like a thing of the past, and like we kind of like let it down. And now like coming into like as a new gang, we want to act like how pretty much like how a street gang would, because like right now we're kind of just going around and being like shitlords really. But with QB Core coming out, like we just want to be like a little like street gang that holds down like a block, like kind of
Gosh darn it,
how
he wants me to put
when
my
you
hand
guys
up
were the
again.
1-9ers, like how you guys took care of Grove. That's kind of like what we want to do like in our hood and stuff. So like the RP of what we do will change because we're gonna upkeep like the visual of what our gang is. Just like how we did when we were getting whitelisted as the Mayans. We looked like a motorcycle club. We did motorcycle club things. So if that's like your question, that's what we're gonna be moving to. So the RP will change. It won't be like how we are now. Stuff like that.
Gotcha. But yes, you did answer my question.
Peralta OP! Peralta for
Nice, nothing further.
king!
Oreo had a quick question here about the tax system. So how would it get paid if you get behind? Like, would the account be put into the negative, or would you have to go somewhere to pay fines and pay it off?
Which taxes are we talking about?
I mean, I would assume just like the asset tax, like when you mentioned like whatever's like liquidated within a bank. But I'll let Marcus respond.
Yeah.
I don't speak for anyone.
Here we go again. I am back for like the 15th time. No, specifically the asset fees.
So I had already gone over that. Which specifically you're talking about, so I could just talk on that exactly.
So like whenever you get hit with the asset fees and it automatically comes out, right?
Right.
Would it post, like, let's say you didn't have enough money, would it
Right.
go into a
what
negative
you're saying.
balance in your bank account, or
Right.
would it be like a fine like you would with the police?
So the asset fees, right? Let's talk specifically on cars, right? So the asset fees on a car, the though I did say automated, right? I meant automated on the server side on how it will be handled and the negative effects will be handled. But to each their own, everyone is going to have the option to, pay them or not when they're due, right? And if you don't pay them, the server automation's going to kick in and it's going to be like, okay, you didn't pay the asset fees for this car this week. Your car is no longer going to be able to be taken out or used until you do pay it, right? And it would be the same thing for houses, businesses, until those fees are paid, right? But it's not going to be like an automatic thing where your money is going to get deducted. Basically, you're going to have the option to choose to pay it or not.
And would that be a specific location? Would it be like it pops up on your phone and then you take care of it?
That specifics is not yet figured out yet on what we're gonna do, but there will be a way to pay it.
All right, thank you. I'm tired. I'm not asking any more questions. I promise. I'm done. I'm done.
Johnny Jump.
I'm done. No more questions. I'll just ask him that later.
Hello?
Hello.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you,
Okay.
bro. Sound a little low, but yeah.
What exactly is this car asset fee? What? I don't understand. I might have been coming in late, but
So each owned car is gonna have a percentage of an asset fee of owning it, basically, right? Attached to it. So basically, like a reoccurring tax on that car. You can call it an asset fee. You can call it a vehicle maintenance tax. You can call it a state tax for just owning a car, like some countries do, or cities and states. However you want to do it. That is what's going to be assigned to each car.
what is it called? Car insurance.
That might get confusing with the actual car insurance mechanics in the server. You can call it
So you have to pay car
registration.
insurance and then you have to pay some fee on top of that?
What do you mean?
Well, you just said there's an asset fee and then you said something about car insurance.
No, you
was
said car
separate.
insurance, motherfucker.
Yeah, I said, well, instead of calling it an asset fee, you could just call it car insurance.
Right, and I said that would confuse the current car insurance mechanic of the server what we have in the server now, like with the car insurance when your car blows up and you gonna get it back. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you could still
Cricket,
call it.
cricket.
You could
Yeah,
still call
whatever we call
car
it, right?
insurance.
Whatever we do call it, right? End of the day, it's a sums up what we're talking about because it's not just attached to cars. It's going to be attached to houses and properties and businesses, right? Anything basically owned, right? That's considered an asset.
Yeah, but like day-to-day life, you don't pay taxes on your car every day at home, do you?
No, you don't.
Oh
You
my
pay
God.
vehicle registration once a year, at least where I'm from. You pay your taxes once a year.
Pay road tax. Does that count?
But that's also
Here you
not
pay the tax
a
for the car when you
real
buy
life.
it, and you pay your registration once a year, and actually, you don't even have to pay that anymore.
Well, we
But
don't
other
all
than
live in
that,
Canada,
the only
bro.
payment that you would have to pay is car insurance.
Right.
And maintenance of your cars when you go fix your car at Benny's or whatever, anyway. So I don't know why
Bro,
this extra asset tax is.
You're
Anyways, I'm done. Thanks.
Okay.
bro's taking it a little too literal,
I
y'all.
have another
It's
question.
What's up?
So with Like
server side, call it whatever you want, right?
with all this going, like if this is the route that we're going for, and like it seems like everybody seems to be more on it, it's like the option 2 or whatever that you said. It seems like that's what everybody's leaning more towards. So that being said, like people get taxes on their car, their houses, and stuff like that. Would the the way people get paid be able to like afford all that stuff, or like is everybody just like fucked at the end of the day?
No, obviously it's not going to be like a negative economy where you can't afford to survive in it, right? Obviously that's not a thing. It's not a thing on our current server, right? For example, like recurring hotel fees that are going on, people that own hotels, those fees are minimal in comparison to the time you can make money on the server, right?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be the same thing, but it is going to be there enough to be noticed and not just like forgotten about, you know?
I think it will give people like a conscious decision when they're buying like a vehicle, for instance. Like, can I afford the tax on this vehicle? Can I afford to have this house and have this vehicle at the same time? I mean, that's why I think it's going to be come more into play.
I see. All right.
I love how the audience ballooned from 17 to 24. and and a lot of these people are like weren't even here earlier.
All right. Anything else on the topic? I'm just gonna go and jump in on here, and I haven't been keeping up to date on the chat, so I'm just gonna look at it really quick.
I kid you not, a lot of people came in around that time. Me asking my question and Johnny Tran asking his.
All right. Before I turn it over to you guys, I just want to note some changes that we're doing later on. We're lowering. Let me just make note that way I don't forget what I'm saying. Gang whitelisting is going to be lowered to 3 active members instead of 5. But we're introducing tier systems and a rep system into the server. So right now it's been a long process, and the process has been long because we had the high member count. It needed at least 5. We had the cap of 15. Staff was making sure that each and every person was up to standards of whitelisting for the gang. Their server activity was put into consideration, player
What's up, Brad?
reports,
Welcome.
all the nitty gritty background stuff, basically. And once whitelisted, all the perks were kind of just thrown at them, some sort of business, some sort of, house or gang hideout, however you want to say. It was pretty much given to the gangs all at once. Hence the long process of doing it. So now what we're going to do is, since we're lowering the some of the standards and creating this not XP, but rep system into the server, say a gang whitelist with their 3 members and they still meet the criteria of whatever the activity time is and good standings of the server, right? And their RP is, still in play. They'll hold the whitelist status, they'll get that sooner, and how they progress in the city and the rep that they gain will then unlock the different levels of, let's say the first tier level, would be their whitelist. The second level might get them a stash. The third level might get them a designated business. The fourth level might, you know what I mean? We're going to break it down that way going forward. That way we can get more gangs whitelisted and more gangs on that tier list. And it'll be up to the gang itself on how far they want to expand their RP and their gang within the city. So those are the changes coming with that. Did I have anything else that I wanted to mention? I think that's going to be it with that. So now is your guys' time to bring up whatever you guys want to bring up. Like the Q&A type of things. Before anyone asks, like I said, I'm not giving out any specifics on when QB is going to be coming. just because I don't want to give you guys a timeline and fall short on that, you know. That's pretty much it. I give you a rough estimate, but even then, I don't want to be held to it and then piss a lot of people off when if I can't make it, you know. We're almost at the point. I think once this economy thing gets pretty much squared away, we're almost at a point where we can start pushing all the updates to some sort of like patch note section for a QB, so you guys can be aware of what's going to be on the QB server. Once we start finalizing stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that's almost finalized where we can be like, okay, here's the new PD job, here's the new tow job, here's the new, you know what I mean? We'll start pushing that stuff out sooner. That way it's not like a 10,000 page patch note come QB time, you know, or the 2.0 launch, however you want to look at it. So if anyone has any questions, raise your hand. We'll get you in here and then
2.0.
to be ready to wrap this up.
Erica asked if you can lose tiers from inactivity from the gang
Yes.
listing.
Yes. Yeah. There will be, you know, cause and effect on stuff. If your gang can't maintain certain
Guys
tier,
don't
you know,
know.
you'll be dropped down the tier. Inactivity would be one of those things.
Who wants to speak? You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So my first question is, when is QB coming?
I swear to God, I'll ban you myself.
I'll take back my question, but no. So my actual question is more along the lines of, what's the potential growth for the police department in the aspect of, like, I know I've made requests for it before in service suggestions, stuff like being able to pick up evidence off a scene, gunshot residue, blood samples, bullet casings, different things like that, to give cops more RP than just the running around chasing people, to give us that level of the ability to actually investigate something and look into it and try to figure out, like, who did it. Was it like Johnny Tran in the night room with a fucking candlestick? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that gonna be something that's coming for the police department?
I'm not going to get into specifics, but there is a lot changing on the police department side of things to create more RP.
Okay.
Like I said, once stuff is starting to get finalized on the QB side of things, I'll be posting I guess QB patch notes. I guess the channel would be considered, you know. It wouldn't be like a teaser. I don't know what you would call it, you know what I mean? It would basically be the updates on that server alone.
More like a
Separate
heads
here
up
on the
channel.
Discord. Right. Just so you guys can see what's gonna be on the server as it's done. There's a little bit more notice on it, so you guys can see what we're doing over there and what's to come. I don't want to give too much away on it as well, because I do want you guys to come in and enjoy it and be surprised and like how the things are over there, you know.
I like it.
No, of course, and I completely understand. And my hope is this, like I said, that we get a little bit more for police to do, that revolves around, like, actually collecting evidence and doing the rest of the job that we don't get to do now because of our current system. My second question is, I know you stated some of the gang's requirements for whitelisting is going to be getting lowered. Outside of the required number, is any of the other things going to be getting lowered? Like what do, like, obviously I'm nowhere near where I need to be, but like, what are, for the other gangs that are much closer to whitelisting, like, what are some other things that are going to make it easier for them to potentially get whitelisted quicker?
I say the time requirement's still going to be a thing, but it's not going to be as crucial, you know.
Okay.
That's just pretty much it, you know. Obviously the stuff is still going to stand as far as their general RP and their general, you know, member status on the server, you know. like, do they have, reports against them, ongoing reports, issues with rule breaks and stuff like that, right? Like, that's still all going to be part of the equation.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you guys for everything you do, and thank you for giving me the time to speak here today.
All right, is that going to be it? Anyone have anything else? All right. So, like always, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for coming and chatting with us. Those that had questions, I hope they all got answered. Those that just came in or don't have, didn't want to talk in front of anybody, my DM's always open. Shoot me a message. We could have a one-on-one. Other than that, you guys have a good rest of your weekend and have fun on the server.
I'm waiting to see. Oh, someone else left. It's
Rob,
time to
it's
go.
gonna be a vote.
Oh.
Rob, we'll pull it out and it'll be majority rule basically.
Word. All right, so that was the entire community meeting of Southbay Roleplay. Appreciate every single one of you. I will not be streaming after this, unless I really change my mind. But I just wanted to go ahead and get the VOD down for everybody. I may or may not be posting. I really should post this to my YouTube. And to be fair, that wasn't near as contentious as I thought it might. See, the biggest thing that I was worried about was the people who were fully anti-wipe. But for the most part, we didn't have. I don't think that was bad at all. Like, I think that was a really good conversation. Everybody said what they needed to say, and there wasn't any like, oh, we're gonna have more people for wipe. Honestly, I thought we were gonna have more people against it. But when he laid out all of the options of everything that he was thinking about, I think it startled most people because there was more than just wipe or no wipe. There was wipe, there was no wipe, there was asset wipe, there was asset wipe plus, and there was wipe plus. And I think that really caught a lot of people off guard that they had been thinking this hard about it. That's all I had to say. He said electoral college. I said get out. I love gold. Oh my god, we stand gold in this chat right here. We stand this, man. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out here. Thank you for sitting in on the community meeting. The vote will eventually be going through, right? And we'll see where a majority is. Honestly, I think a lot of people are wanting to go asset wipe plus or no wipe. We stand gold-plated 20. Go follow him too. Go Coco, shout out, please. Oh my goodness. He's giving us a week before putting the vote out. Word, I am 100% okay with that. So 1 week from today being August 13th. So on August 20th, the vote will become live of when, if we're gonna do wipe or not. I firmly believe that because of the tax system, I don't think that's going to be a problem. And to be fair, that's totally going to nuke Ligna and Bomamba. Which, I mean, mind you, we stand Ligna in here too. Bo, I don't know if Bo streams or not, if he does, but we stand Ligna. His staff will get overworked? No! Sag! But yeah, alright y'all, thank you. Y'all have a wonderful night. If you guys see me running around streams or any other person's streams or anything, go show them some love. But yeah, I'm going to take care of some stuff, and yeah. Alright, love y'all all. Have a wonderful night.